Now, let me explain why this is such an issue at this time in our history. If we'd had this demographic trend of aging baby boomers or aging population 50 or 100 years from now, it would have been a different problem. How many people here remember work life before personal computers? Show of hands. Okay, well, about 2/3 of you at least. You have seen, think about it, my first personal computer was I brought it into my office in 1980. It's been downhill ever since. And you think about the transformation you've seen in your work life, from work life before personal computers to what we have today, where systems underlie everything we do. Well, they're just symptomatic of the transformation that has gone on in our workplace, the unbelievable explosion of knowledge and our dependence on computer networks, and I don't mean just the stuff in your office, but the other products that you sell and work with, explosions in scientific knowledge, pharmaceutical, drug development, all aspects of science, and increases in managerial knowledge and managing distributed global operations. All this knowledge has developed and means that when people potentially leave organizations today, they leave with knowledge that didn't exist 30 years ago and that is critical to the future of the business. Suddenly, we have this phenomenon, what I call piling up at the door. A lot of organizations tell me, we have all these people who are eligible to retire and they're not retiring. And so it's creating a new dynamic in organization which is going to have to do with utilizing even more effectively, utilizing older workers who really decide to stay on longer than you anticipated them. I think a lot of times we've forgotten what it was like to be in our 20s. And a lot of times we will attribute behavior to them. We say, oh, those Gen Ys. And it has nothing to do with them. It has to do with being 25. I had 6 employers before I was 30 years old. I was only fired from one job. Seriously, I had a very fast, but it seemed very normal. And I realize in this community there are a lot of people who who stayed with one company for many, many years. But the reality is it isn't automatically something that's just an attribute of Gen Ys. One of the things that I see that's a big concern to me when I go into organizations with an older workforce, I was in one of these, a consulting firm in the Midwest recently, and they had, everybody's in their 40s or above, and they had one 24-year-old in the company, this office. And I thought to myself, this guy's not going to last. I mean, he's got no relationship, nobody he's connecting to. So one thing Deloitte does is they form natural networks with all new employees. They make sure they get connected across the company with other people in the organization and start building social networks that will keep them engaged. Because there's plenty of data that shows people stay in places where they have friends. If they develop strong friendships, they're much more likely to stick around.